Hey guys, so here we are with our final day round of Mage Knight. So all I did while you guys were away was I shuffled both decks, I refreshed the units, I refreshed this advanced action here, and then just something I said last round, just to correct that. So the greatest adventure, so for exploring this Dragon's Den dungeon, Monster Den, there it is. Monster Den, I get an extra +2. These trophies are for when you're playing with more people, and that's the first place bonus you're seeing, along with what the score would be for tiebreakers instead. Okay, so we're ready to go. Here, I placed these like this. So suppose I rolled this set of dice for the start of this day round. Now, because there's 3 non-basic colors, we have more than equal to or more than half the dice showing non-basic. So we roll any non-basics, in which case that will be all 3. So I just wanted to give you that quick little example, and we're ready to start. So I've got 5 tiles to get through. As long as I can see all 5 tiles, I've completed my mission of revealing the city. A few other things that I haven't done but that you can do. So when you're on a village, all 4 of them are way back here, but when you're on one, you can choose to plunder a village. And what that means is you're going to lose a reputation point, but it's going to give you 2 extra cards to use on your next hand. So you do that anytime between the end of one turn and before you start your next turn. You can do something similar to the monastery, where you choose to burn the monastery. And what that entails is that you're going to fight a purple monster. Your units won't help you because they're ashamed of what you're doing. And if you successfully defeat the monster, then you get an artifact. And that's a deck we haven't talked much about. But basically they're basically as strong as spells, sometimes even stronger, except they don't cost mana to use. So you can imagine the power that they can give you. Okay, so without further ado, let's draw 5 cards from our D deck. So we have our influence card. We've got some good fighting on this opening hand. We've got the movement we need, maybe 1 more movement. Nice. Okay, so couldn't ask for a better starting hand. The next thing we need to do is select one of these tactic cards. So discard up to 3 cards. I'm not interested in that. Take 1 mana die on the source and just keep it as safekeeping. I'm a little interested in that. Let's do that. I'm going to take number 3. And I'll hope that he takes 6. 6 is that you get to take back-to-back turns. Now that may be advantageous when you're playing with a group, but when you're doing a dummy player, it makes just as much sense to go first, because they're not going to affect the board in any way. Nice, so he did end up drawing 6, and so his card is spent. I'll go over here. This card's not an immediate effect. Well, something happens immediately, but it's going to host this mana die that I can use at any time in the round. And once it's used, it gets rerolled and put back to the source. So it's just basically a green crystal that I have on hold. Maybe it might mark. I was debating on taking blue. I didn't want to take it because there's already 2 greens, but I think I am going to take blue. I changed my mind. Oh no, because there's that power-up card. Green it is. Alright, we're decided. So what I need to do is some exploring. So it would be nice to fight this guy, but instead I'm going to try and unveil the rest of the map. So I'm going to start heading left, or west, I guess, in terms of the game and the map. So I'm going to head up towards this monastery and try and reveal from there. So the first thing I'll do, spend this, attach a mana from the source, putting me at 4 movements from that card there. So 4 movements, 1, 2, and why don't I reveal here while I'm on my way? So 3, 4 to reveal. So I'm bringing up new information to the board, and so this mana use and this card are locked in. On this we have rampaging enemy. It should be flipped over. So what's that guy called? I think that's a prowler, yeah. So that's a prowler. Something new here is a dungeon. So what a dungeon is you go underneath it, you fight one of these brown guys. As you can see, it's actually dungeons on their tokens, and so they're fairly tough. However, because you're going down in the dark of the dungeon, you treat the dungeon as though you're in a night round, and so gold mana will not be usable. However, dark mana will be usable. Other things about going in the dungeon is that your units are scared to do so, and so they won't go in with you. Now you may be thinking, that sounds pretty hard to beat a guy, without your units, without gold mana. But the reward is, I think it's an artifact. It's something ridiculous. Luckily we have these reference cards, so bear with me. I believe it's an artifact. Okay, right, you roll a die, and if you roll any of the basic cards, it's an artifact. And if you roll a spell, or roll a gold or black, then you get a spell. So it's very huge rewards if you can pull it off. And I think I'm going to try and, as much as I shouldn't for the sake of winning the snare, I think I'm going to try and do it just to show you guys how you draw artifacts and how strong that they really are. So how I'm going to finish this up is I will spend 2 here, 2 more on movement to put me closer to that dungeon. And then I'm going to want to keep these cards. This card I could use, but I'm not able to, unfortunately. So I only have the 2 movement from that card, and that's or the other alternative. So I haven't revealed new information with this card. So I could go to this monastery, power up this influence to get this advanced action, which is just a movement card. So I guess that's not beneficial, seeing as I'm not injured. Okay, so I'll choose to move closer to the Dragon's Den, and so that'll be the end of my turn. I'll hold on to these 3 cards. I'll reroll this die, return it to the source. Gold, which is usable, just not in the dungeons. And these will be moved to my discard. So again, drawing back up to my hand limit of 5, so 2 cards. Man, more influence, unfortunately. Okay. So now Noras's turn. Because he drew the 6, he's going second. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Blue card, no blue crystals. His turn will stop there. So next to me is an adventure site. So what I'm going to choose to do is I'm going to use my movement here. I'm going to power it up with gold to give me 4 movement. So I'm going to go 2 here. And sorry, for revealing this tile, I'll get a fame. And now I'm about to reveal 1 more while standing on that adventure site to show me this tile here. Okay, so forest, I'll throw the orcs because I've got to reveal that city before my deck runs out. This is my last round. So this is, by the way, this is a ruin. So that's these tokens here. In the daytime, you place them face up, and there's a few mixes of what you can reveal. You can reveal a trade in mana for a set amount of fame, and then you can also reveal fight 2 enemies at the same time. So it'll be 2 enemies. They'll specify 2 tokens. And if you fight them, then you get massive rewards, whether it be spells, artifacts, and spells, 1 of each crystal, just very good rewards. Now, it is also considered an adventure site, so you're able to stand on it without actually entering it. So you can ignore the space as I am right now on adventure sites and treat them as any other. Now, revealing this tile here as well is going to give me 1 more fame, causing me to level up. Which is great news because that's going to increase my hand limit to 6 and allow me to have 1 more unit under my control. So 3 tokens, I'm allowed 3 units now. So that's 4 movement spent here, and it revealed new information, so that's locked in. Something else I can do, or maybe should consider doing. These influence cards are going to go to waste unless I can move somewhere, and I really can't. Like it would be nice to, possibly push somewhere, either forward or to the left here, to try and use up this next unit space, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So how I'm going to have to use these influence, because I'm trying to enter that monster den, I'm actually just discarding these. And that's very dangerous, especially when I could use them sideways for point of move each, which is really my main mission. And so that'll be it for my turn. 2 cards discarded. Gutsy move, but hopefully it'll work out. So I'll draw back up to 6, so not 5 anymore. I'm going to get 6 here. 4, and this is the hand you want to explore a dungeon. All fighting, and something that'll give me a bunch of mana if I can power it up properly. Great. Neuroas's turn. 1, 2, 3, still a green. So 3 more cards. So he's going through fairly quickly. I've got to get a move on, but not before I show you guys how to fight monsters in a monster den. So I'm choosing for my action this turn to enter the site. My units are not usable, so they're waiting for me upstairs. That's what the game tells you. So I'll flip this card over, and then we'll start trying to solve the puzzle. So it's not too bad. So this tower means that we can't use ranged attacks. We can still use siege. Of course, we actually don't have... we do have ranged attack, but the point is we can't use either. Or we can't use ranged attack, we can only use siege, which we don't have. So I'm going to have to deal with 6 attack. So I can distribute 3 onto my shield here. 1, 2, 3. And then this here can give me a block of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's blocked. And now to generate the 6 attack, my plan will be what? Unfortunately, I haven't used mana from the source, so that's a bit of a waste. So here's what I'll do. I'll go 1, 2 from this, and then I'll use concentration to gain a red mana token, which I'll use on this attack. So to clarify what just happened, these 3 cards weren't used. But what I did was he attacked me with 6, I blocked with my shield for 3, and then used cold toughness for ice block 3, putting me at 6. I then retaliated with my skill token to give me an attack of 2, bringing him down to 4. And then I used concentration to gain a red mana token, giving me another 4 attack. And so he's been defeated. My reputation's unaffected when I go into dungeons, but I will get 5 fame. 5 fame, and then, of course, the best rewards. So, I guess I'll grab this blue die. Oh, remember, it's blue, and I'm going to roll for my reward. Now, because I got a basic color, I'll return this as blue. I'm going to get an artifact. So to get artifacts, to choose an artifact, you get to look at 2 cards, and you choose which one you want and which one you don't. So here we go. So banners are things that you assign to your units. So you attach them to your units and then they give you perks. In this case, during the block phase of combat, you may spend this unit to cancel 1 attack. So spending a unit means placing this on the unit. However, it prevents an enemy from attacking, which is incredibly powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this banner over this Book of Wisdom, just because this is more for long term. Throw in an action card from your hand and gain an advanced action card from the advanced actions offered to your hand that's the same color as the one you threw away. So for instance, here I have an attack 2. Suppose that wasn't good enough and I had this. I could play this to throw away this attack 2, attack 4, and instead get this attack 9 if you take a wound, or attack 5 if you take a wound. So it's easy to see how that could work. However, I don't have time in the game. So you choose which one of the 2 you want. I'm going to take the banner, and then this Book of Wisdom will return to the bottom of the artifacts deck. So incredibly powerful, and this will go top of my deck, I believe, not to my hand. That's something I'm not sure of. Again, similar to the spell, I believe it's top of your deck, and everything else will be spent. So this will go here. These will be moved to my discard, and the rest of this game, like as much as I want to play this for a blue crystal right now, and I would if I had more turns, I don't. So I'm just going to be playing cards just to try and move and explore the map so that I beat this walkthrough scenario. Neuroas's turn. Let's give him his 3 cards. 2, 3, white, 2 more. I'm getting very unlucky with the dummy player deck as well. So I get to draw 3 more, and I just want movement. That's all I want, and that's not what I'm gonna get. Okay. So as I said, in order to reveal that city, I don't really have a choice. I'm playing cards sideways to try and move. So crystals are always great. Gain a blue crystal, gain a crystal, but they should be used on your last turn. They'll give you a slight perk. I think it's it is 2 crystals for 1 fame point at the end, so they're not really worth holding on to or collecting. So I'm going to be spending both these crystal type cards to move 2. And we will move 2. What's the fastest way? Do I want to deal with him? Got a few cards left. Okay, we'll go north. So 1, and then we'll use our influence here. 1, 2, and then we will also use, you can use an additional mana die, 3. So we're spending 3 to go into the forest because it's daytime. That's cool. Nobody's upset about that. I'll attach my banner here to my herbalist because he's not a very strong unit. However, if I can use him to cancel an attack and get me a fame, that's a great use for 3 influence. So it's him I'll choose to attach it to. And then what I'll do, because I know I'm adjacent to that guy, I'll use this ranged ice attack. I'll choose to engage this orc, this prowler. And the first thing you get to do, he's not fortified, so I'll just use ranged ice attack 3, which is enough to bring his armor down to 0. And so he won't get to attack at all. So I'll give myself the 2 fame and the 1 reputation for that. So our reputation's really moving up. I'll roll this die, return it to the source. And all these cards are discarded. Noras will flip 3, 2. Hopefully it's not a color. Good, it's blue, so I'm going to get a few more turns. Now I have the attack on top here. We're going to draw up to 6, 2, good. 3, good, more movement. 4, good, more movement. 5, more movement. Good. All right. And we're gonna run around this map a bit. Now for ending on a magical glade, the perks that gives you is you get to discard a wound either from your hand, which I don't have, or your discard pile. And that's huge because it's an easy way to get rid of being poisoned. And also, those wounds typically come back to haunt you. If not now, even at the end of the game, there's a penalty of going down 2 points for each wound in your hand. So very punishable. But luckily that's not the case for me. However, I will take this perk, which is when you start your turn on a magical glade, you either get a gold mana if it's daytime, or a black mana if it's night. And so I'll take a gold mana to use during this day. I'm going to immediately attach that to... Let's do improvisation. And let's move 5. So I'll burn this heal or draw card. That'll give us 5 movement. And again, we're just desperately trying to discover a city. So 5 movement. Maybe I should save that. This is the combo I will do, but just in case I reveal a monster I need to fight, I'll use this and my mana from the source, putting me at move 4. So I'll use 2 of those points to reveal the face straight in front of me. And now, oh shoot, so here we reveal the 2nd monastery, and here we're revealing a 3rd. So first off, we're revealing a tile. I'll give myself a fame. And then for each monastery you have, you're supposed to have an advanced action. So I did forget to do that. And so here's 2 more advanced actions in the advanced action offer, along with the units there. So these can only be picked up at monasteries, and they cost 6 influence points. So we have a movement, influence, or attack, and then more movement with a reduction of terrain cost. So a very good movement card. So I've used 2 to reveal. I don't need to place anything here. This is similar to a dungeon, except you're fighting a dragon without your units. The rewards are of course much bigger. So if you're successful, then not only do you get an artifact, you also get a spell. So there's no die roll, and you're getting 1 of each. So very, very powerful, but also not something I'm very equipped to do. Then over here, we have maybe, is it monster holes? Yeah, there you go, spawning grounds. And so you're gonna fight 2 of these guys, 3 crystals and artifacts. So you can see how the game escalates rather quickly. So I spent 2 movement. I have 2 left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, just going to spend a lot on movement here. So I have 2 left from here, and I just gained 2 more from this one here. So we have 4 movement, and we're going to use 3 to move here. 1 movement left. We'll power that up with this here. So we have 3 more movement, and we're going to use 2 of them to reveal here. And there's our city. So the game does stop here. I went into a rush mode because I wasn't sure if I was going to find it or not. So I could have probably fought something, maybe these spawning grounds. But anyways, the game ends here, so I'll flip over these 2 tokens. And then City, they didn't give us any details, but essentially they change depending on the scenario, and they adjust depending on what difficulty you want to play at. But for instance, in a solo conquest, if you see inside there's a number, then there's corresponding colors, which corresponds to the number of monsters that will be defending the city. So you'll be fighting multiple guys at a time, so it can be quite difficult. Anyway, so although not the most effective use of my last round, just because I was speeding through trying to reveal tiles, I did manage to find the city, and so it was a success. So now the last thing we'll do is scoring. So I'm not sure if there's specific details for the first walkthrough, so I'll just use our typical card here. So basically, how it works, for every spell you have in your deck, you get 2. So I'll just have a quick look. I had Burning Shield, I think that might be it. Yeah, so all I had was Burning Shield. So I get 2 points for this spell, so I count that. Leveling up, by the way, is done. The game's over. Advanced actions, I get up 1 point for each of them. So I think I have 2, right? I'm not going to count them. I know I didn't buy any, and I've leveled up twice, so it'll be 2 more points. 1, 2. Then artifacts are worth 2 points each, and so I do have one of those. I have my banner here, so that's going to be 2 points. And then again, 2 crystals for 1 point, so 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, and that's called loot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up next, greatest leader, right? So you take the total number of your unit's levels. So here I have 3 points, 2 from the Guardian Golems and 1 from the Hurdleless, putting me at 3. Now if those units are wounded, then their level is halved. Greatest Conqueror, so now we get to look at the map. So where did I conquer? Forgot to place a shield on this here. So Greatest Conqueror, we're talking about monasteries, which you'd have to burn down, keeps, and mage towers. So we remember I took over 1 mage tower, and I think that might be it. I did not do much, eh? Jeez. So 1 mage tower is all I'm seeing. I didn't burn any monasteries. I wasn't mean to the people like that, and so that'll give me 2 points. However, what I did do a lot of was adventure sites. So I have 1 here, 1 here, and that's it again. So 2 times 2, so that'll put me at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the last thing, greatest beating. So any wounds you have in your hand, in your discard, in your D deck are gonna knock you down 2 points each. Once you've tallied up all that, the scenario typically gives bonuses, and that's something I'll have a quick look for. So this is the solo conquest, and we'll see if there's, where it says scorekeeping, if there's any bonuses. The end of the game, greatest knowledge. For the first scenario, what's the game? Okay, so I do not believe you receive any extra fame for actually completing the scenario, which makes sense. It's just a test run, just a tutorial, and I will be back to play the solo conquest, but hopefully you guys learned a bit. The only real difference between the actual game and this game is that you will have an objective that you have to meet, otherwise there's no way you'll get a good score. Your friends will beat you, stuff like that. There's no way you'll get a good score, and a lot of times those objectives will be to actually conquer those cities with 3 or 4 bad guys on them. Other things that are different, as soon as you start revealing these core tiles, as they're called, you'll actually start to get more powerful units. So at the start of the round, as soon as one of these have been drawn and put on the board, the next round you'll draw 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 gold, 1 silver. So if you're 4 people, it'll be 2 golds, 2 silver. If you're 1 person, it'll be 1 gold, 2 golds, 1 silver. And just to give you an idea of how much more powerful they are. So there we are. no mana required for ranged fire attacks, siege fire attacks, just a lot stronger. Also costs a lot more though. And this new emblem here is city, so they can only be recruited from cities. So those are gold units. What else is different? When you flip tiles, something that I was forgetting to do sometimes was to boost up the fame. That's because in the regular game you don't actually do that. They just give it to you in this game as a motivation to start exploring and to aid you in completing your objective. So anyways, I hope that gives you a taste of what the game's about. This is my favorite game, and so I will be doing more of it, and I hope you guys enjoyed.